Welcome. If you are a person who believes the developments that have taken place in China are really interesting and exciting, this video is for you. Especially for Nri'S who wants to invest in US market, all the listed stocks, securities and ETFs which are focusing on stocks of China as well as Chinese stocks which are listed in US market as well. Three developments that have taken place in China. One is stimulus, other one is the interest rate, the third one is the Chinese policy to support investors in terms of investing in stocks and giving a better interest rate for funding those investments. In addition to that, the world markets have been expensive in the recent past, but China was undervalued and it was just consolidating in the last 2 years. Even the sell-off that has taken place, especially in India, the foreign institutional investors who have sold in the last 2-3 weeks, gives some sort of understanding that the focus is now shifting to China. In addition to that, the amount of moves, the indices that have made in the last 3 to 4 weeks are really interesting, because the aggressive moves indicates that investors are finding value in Chinese stocks and Chinese indices, because the moves are aggressive, the moves of percentage of moves are also aggressive. At the same time, the volumes also are very strong. In light of these changes that have taken place, there are 3 ETFs, 3 securities which I found which are listed in US market are worth considering it. I am not an analyst, I am not a SEBI analyst, I am not a security analyst. I have done some research, I have made some investments. I found these are very interesting. Maybe you can consult your financial advisor and do thorough research and if you find some value, you can consider investing in these securities. Come, I'll show you these particular securities. The first one is JP Morgan Exchange Traded Fund Trust, which is focusing on China stocks. The top performing China stocks which form part of this particular ETF is really interesting, because stocks like Tencent Holdings, Alibaba and all are part of this particular ETF. And if you see the aggressive moves it has taken place the last 3 to 4 weeks with huge volumes and crossover of all-time high, which is listed about a year ago in this particular ETF, is showing some sort of sign of strength. Maybe accumulating such ETFs can be a good opportunity to the investors. As I told you, please do your own research and take decision. See the consolidation in the tech ETF, Hang Seng Tech Index ETF, which is Crane Shares Hang Seng Tech Index ETF. The symbol KTEC has consolidated a lot, and the breakout in the last 4 weeks with huge volume is a clear indication that institutions have entered, investors are finding value, investors also finding opportunity in this particular ETF and stocks of China. And one more security is S&P China ETF. This is a very interesting ETF, because if you could see this particular ETF, which is clearly focusing on the China index, S&P 500 China ETF index ETF, and if you could see the great consolidation between 60 and 91, and you could see in the last 4 weeks almost from $63-64 it went up to 91, which is almost a 50% move in a span of hardly 1 month, is a clear indication that investors are finding value in this particular index. So the China index is thoroughly shown interest by lot of institutions and value investors. That is what the chart is indicating, and all the topmost companies of China are part of this particular index also, the China index also. So one can look at these 3. In addition to that, there are so many securities which are turning around, which have turned down, and we can move further higher. There are so many banking indexes of China, Hang Seng indexes, Those who are in India, you can also consider some mutual funds which are focusing on Chinese stocks, international investments. Those who are in US, you can consider most of the Chinese stocks which are listed on US stock market, as well as the indices, ETFs and mutual funds which are focusing on China. So as I said, please do your research. I find these are at a better valuation currently in the current scenario where world equity markets are, overvalued or superior valued, where we don't find much value in most of the world markets. Maybe China is offering a better valuation in the current scenario, so maybe one can take this opportunity to consider. And for all you Nri'S, it's a great opportunity for you to consider one more segment other than just US. You can also consider China. You had been investing partly in Indian market also, but Indian market may go for some sort of consolidation. That is what the figures are looking at and the charts are saying. So probably the opportunities will come up in India also, maybe after some time, and Indian market also can go for some sort of a consolidation. In the interim period, probably we are finding great opportunity in China. Happy trading, happy investing. Thank you.